It's the Date Master, and yes, we're back again. I have a double header for you guys today. Thank you for your patience. Like I said, I received a strike for an old video, and it came when I did my take about the just purely situation with the mansplaining and that whole situation. I'm not going to harp on that. I see people making content. They want to stretch that out as long as they can for content. I'm not going to do that. So we're going to get into another topic, which I've visited this before, but I'm going to give you another take about sexual hypergamy in women. Women have come to the conclusion, not publicly, but privately, they know we pretty much have found out all of the tricks. We know all of the secrets. We know the game when it comes to relationships. And I seen a woman on a post today said, if a man doesn't want to give you a relationship, move on, or something to that extent. Basically saying if he doesn't give you what you want, leave him alone. Again, you're nothing but mere tools to these women because society has done an excellent job in programming them. I was talking to one of my guys yesterday, and I stated, and we were talking about the baby mama epidemic as far as how are women still becoming baby mothers in 2023? After becoming a baby mama years prior to, as if it's going to get easier or this baby is going to eliminate the struggle from the first baby. It doesn't make sense. But I told him some of the experiences I had over the weekend when I encountered a few women with my cologne. I got some compliments, et cetera, et cetera. And just the reaction, I was just paying attention. I stated, one chick in particular, she was like sitting still, like she was frozen. She asked me what kind of cologne I was wearing. I told her. And then about 8 minutes later, this conversation changed, and she came back and said, what's that cologne again? And I noticed the look in that silence because I was talking to someone else. She was just in the vicinity. When a woman is aroused sexually, meaning all of her senses have been, I would say, stimulated, she lose all function of common sense. See, we think common sense meaning you have common knowledge, you have a common understanding of how things work, what to do, what not to do. I would say a different perspective would be common sense meaning you lose all common senses as far as sensibility, meaning the objective is to get that additional stimulation. So why are women still getting pregnant, becoming baby mothers? And it is when they're sexually aroused and stimulated by a man, all logic is absent. See, there's a saying which I can agree to a certain extent that women control sex. Of course, they control sexual access, meaning they choose the man. I'm not in disagreement with that. But as it's levels. For the common man, the common thinking man, the man who does not have any knowledge of self, any extensive discernment, they're not tapped in their third eye or with the Most High, I want to say. For those men who, again, get into that level, which is going to be 5% or less, you control how the sex goes afterwards, meaning if you impregnate this woman, what you're going to get. So when men have these crazy scenarios about the women turning and going this way and that way, they didn't know she was going to change. You did not have the discernment or the senses that a few men get because you did not seek the knowledge. So I control where my seed is planted. I don't sleep around. No, I don't really choose to deal with women who are in a battered state emotionally and they're just looking to get their rocks off to numb that pain. I used to do that a lot until I found my purpose in a higher calling, if you will. But women do not have that ability or the discipline to reject or control their urges, which is why they tend to be baby mothers more than wives. They tend to put themselves in crazy scenarios. It's not a day that goes by that I don't get on the internet or YouTube and I see a woman has been deleted by her lover or ex-lover. It's not a day that it's not a day that goes by. So I have to ask, well, if these women are so smart, why are they getting deleted by their boyfriends and husbands, etc.? Do they not have that discernment to know that this guy will do such a violent act to them, such a brutal act to them? It's not a day that goes by. But I noticed with sexual hypergamy, these women, they are consumers. This is why marketing and advertising is pretty much catered to them. You cannot do anything with a woman who does not have control of her sexual urges. There's nothing you can do with her. You think you can time her. You see, the conversation is the more masculine a man is, the more a man doesn't have to do anything other than what he is for you to be feminine. If you're not feminine, you're not feminine. Anything else, you're faking. And I was having a conversation with a colleague of mine yesterday, and I said, anything that's not authentic or genuine, it does not have any value and it will not last. This is why, and this is, I go on a tangent to clothing for those who are into sports and jerseys, or back in the day, they had the replicas and they had the authentic. The authentic jerseys were made for the in-game play because you had the tackles, the tugs on the jersey. They had to be made more durable to undergo such a beating in the game. And even after the game, when you put it in the washing machine. So they had to be made. So what they did, they came out with the replica, which it looks like the real thing, but it wasn't. The feel wasn't, the cut, the texture, everything was different. Even though it looked good, a lot of people went with the replica. I wanted to go with the authentic. So anything that's not authentic or genuine, it will not last anyway. So you cannot make a relationship work. You cannot force a relationship to work, going to therapy. All of that shit sounds good in theory because it's a business. But a woman's sexual hypergamy is similar or equivalent to a man's greed. It will ultimately destroy you. A woman's sexual hypergamy will destroy her. Your greed will destroy you as a man. And that can be greed for anything: money, women, sex, power. It will ultimately consume you. I'm into delayed gratification nowadays. People don't want to grow. They want to, and I'm going to do a video about this. I may hit you with a 3-piece today. People want to cheat the grind, and they get in relationships thinking they don't have to work, which is why women are. Why do you think it's so easy for them to leave? Because they did not put in any work. The women that put in work for relationships to actually work, those are the women you see go crazy. They stalk the boyfriend. They went over and beyond to obtain him. So therefore, they cannot walk away so easily. So these women are looking for easy street. The older women get, the easier they think the relationship is going to be. They think the man is just going to be sitting on the shelf waiting for them, or they're going to wait on the shelf and the man is just going to come pick them up after they've been picked over. Women cheat more than men by far. And I know this to be true based on my personal experience, the experience of my friends, family, etc., the stories. It's not a day that goes by that I don't see a story hitting the internet where a man is confessing on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram that he caught his woman cheating. Not a day goes by. So you have to ask yourself, well, do I have a firm understanding of how relationships work? You do not. You try to practice monogamy, which is unnatural. Monogamy is only for the ones who have a spiritual discernment and a practice and a place in life that they've reached that takes a lot of energy and effort to maintain. It takes a lot of energy and effort not to sleep with these women who are so easily fooled. If I wanted to, I could be a menace to society in the dating game with the women. And I have been. I had my way. I must say that. And that's not a brag or a boast. That is just reality since I was a little boy. But when a woman sees a man and she's sexually aroused, it's only a matter of time before she lays with him or tries to lay with him. It's only a matter of time. Married or not. Why do you think these married women are still on the internet prancing around thinking they're bad bees? It's hypergamy. because they know if the right one says the right thing at the right time, it is a go. If she's on social media, she's pretty much, it's a ticking time bomb. You're on the clock. If I get into another serious relationship, it won't be any social media unless it's for business only. You're trying to play a lot of games with these women and you're playing their game. You will never win playing a woman's game, especially when it comes to her hypergamy. She's always looking for the bigger, better deal because the bigger, better deal has been sold to her via social media. She thinks she's the Ray Janae Carter. She thinks she's the Lori Harvey. She thinks she's of the same cloth that these other women are, which she's not. But she's been sold a pipe dream. So again, I have a saying, and this counts for women and men that are on bullshit. But yeah, you can do all the bullshit you want. Yes, absolutely. But do that shit over there. Do it far away from me because I don't want that shit to get on me when it blows up in your face. You can do anything. Yeah, baby, you can do whatever. Yeah, baby, yeah, do whatever but do it over there. Best luck to you, best wishes to you. But yeah, do that shit over there. That goes for men and women. You will not beat her hypergamy. There's nothing you can do to tame it. Your dick can hang to the floor. That's not going to keep her faithful if she is in a hypergamous state. And most of the time, women go through these phases because their friends and their peers. They get pressured, they get bad advice, bad information from their peers, and they act on this bad advice. They'll act on the bad advice before they act on the good advice. And then you see the stories like Black China. So these women see women like Black China and thinking they can do everything under the sun and they'll just clean it up at the end. Somebody will come through and clean her up. Absolutely the fuck not. It will not happen. That's why you have to get away. You're still engaging in these conversations with women. You're a fool. Get off the internet trying to pass time because you don't want to quit your bullshit job. Because I know that's just your pacifier. That's your iPad like a baby. You know, the baby hits 7 months, they stick an iPad in his face to keep him occupied while they bullshit on the internet. The same thing you're doing when you're on the internet, arguing back and forth with women about relationships every single day. And you wonder why you're in the same place that you were 6 years ago. And you have not grown. You have not accomplished anything. You have not gotten better at that skill. You have not got better in your job. Because you're doing the same old thing. You have the same old mindset that has kept you complacent and kept you pretty much dormant. But, I just wanted to touch on the hypergamy because this is still a thing. There's nothing you can do to beat it other than make yourself the greatest value to yourself first. The way you love yourself, the way you treat yourself is going to set the standard for how others treat you. If you don't treat me like I treat myself or better, then we have no relationship. But you guys let me know what you think about this video. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Day Master.